Today's video, I want to quickly touch on some components that I used in my 2D playbook character. If you haven't seen that, you can go watch that on my previous video. But it seems I'm making this video specifically for my a student of mine. But if this applies to you, then you can also learn from it. So I'll be talking mainly about this components here, this five components excluding the player movement script. So I'll be talking about these four components and what they are meant for. Now we're going to look at our first component, which is the transform component. The transform component is like the object body's position. It controls position, where the object is, rotation, which is direction it faces, and scale, which is how big or small it is. Think of it like this: where am I? Which way am I looking? How big am I? Every game object in Unity must have a transform. Now the next thing we'll be looking at is Sprite Renderer. What is a Sprite Renderer? The Sprite Renderer is what makes your 2D pictures show on the screen. Without it, your objects exist, but you can't see it. It can show sprites slash images, change colors, flip images, and change drawing order. So example of flipping images is this right here. So yeah, so that's flipping images. And the next thing we have on the list is Rigidbody 2D. So the question is, what is a Rigidbody 2D? Rigidbody 2D gives your object physics. This means the object can fall because of gravity, move with force, bounce, collide naturally. Without Rigidbody, the object will not behave like a real thing. Think of it like the object now follows the rules of the world. Example, a player falling from a platform uses Rigidbody. The fourth component we're going to talk about is the Capsule Collider 2D. Now, what is the Capsule Collider 2D? The Capsule Collider 2D is the invisible shape. It's more like an invisible shape. It tells Unity what type of behavior you want the physics engine to give to the object. Without a collider, object pass through walls and floors, while capsule, because the collision shape looks like a capsule slash pill. Exactly. So the collision shape looks like a capsule. That is why you are using a capsule collider. If you were to use a box collider for this, you run into some problems because the object won't behave the way you want it to behave. Example of a capsule collider is your player stands on the ground because the capsule collider touches the ground or the floor, as you can see here. As you can see here. The next one is going to be last is going to be the animator. Now, the animator controls animation. It helps your character walk, jump, attack, idle, and do every other animation that you have assigned to that character. The animator changes between animations automatically based on conditions that you have set within the animator. Think of it like the brain that controls the character movement and action. So this, I hope it helps anyone that cares to know how these components work and understand how to use them. Now in your scripts, you'll be able to call these components like this script here that is attached. At some point it will call the transform, it will speak to the sprite renderer, and so on and so forth. So if you want me to make a more detailed video of the idea behind the component based system, I don't mind. I wouldn't mind making it, so you can leave comment down below and I'll make a video, which is what helped me in my journey to understanding Unity when I first used the engine back then in 2010. Uh, so I would say keep making beautiful games, keep being awesome. I'll see you in the next video.